CC, better known to my YouTube viewers as Sexy Peaches 08. I'm coming at you guys live again from my bedroom. This is my fifth or sixth video blog. I'm not quite sure on that, but today's topic is gonna be the Micheal Brown shooting that just happened this past weekend. I'm quite sure that a lot of you guys have heard about it because it's been pretty much on every news outlet. But even if you haven't, or you're just not into, news sort of thing, I'm going to recap it for you. The basis of the Micheal Brown shooting this Sunday is that Micheal Brown and his friend Doran Jackson were walking down the street, and they while they were walking down the street, they had an altercation with an officer by the name of Officer Wilson. I believe that's his name. And basically, Officer Wilson, wanted them to get off the street, get on the sidewalk. And Doran said that he told the officer that they were close to where they were going, and that they would soon actually be off the street. And I guess that they thought that that response was good enough, because they seemed to go about their business, and from the way that it looked like Officer Wilson had also went on his merry way. But in actuality, he just went a little piece up the road and proceeded to do a very sharp U-turn to where he was right back to where the boys were still walking down the street. And as the altercation escalates, it goes to where the officer tries to get out of his car, and what I heard from Doran Jackson on MSNBC is that the door ricocheted off of Mike Brown and proceeded to bounce back and close the cop door to the police vehicle. And this action made, it infuriated Officer Wilson. My thing is, he probably thought maybe, Mike pushed the door back on him, but actually just bounced off of him or whatever. But at any rate, this is the point where the altercation escalated, and Officer Wilson proceeded to grab Micheal Brown and is proceeding to pull him into the cop car through the cop car window. And as this is happening, Micheal Brown is trying to push back on the window, his hands up like this, trying to, push back and get away. And as all this is going on, this kind of tug of war is going on, Officer Wilson gets his gun, and it goes off. He fires the gun, or it goes off. But at any rate, whichever way it happened, Micheal Brown gets shot in the arm, and this seemed to stun Officer Wilson as well as Mike Brown. But Mike Brown used this opportunity to finally kind of get away from the officer. And at this point, the both of the boys, I believe, start to run, but his friend Doran Jackson actually only goes a little bit, and he ducks behind the car, and Micheal Brown is still running. And at this time, the officer gets out of his vehicle and begins to pursue Micheal Brown. And as this is happening, he shoots him a couple more times in the arm, and he realizes he's hit. So at that point, he turns around to surrender and put his hands up in the air. And as he does that, the cop still continues to fire upon him and kill him. And of course, his body goes down to the ground. And allegedly, his body was left on the ground for approximately 4 hours, just sitting there. Now, that is the story that has been circulating. Um, and there's also, how can I say this? It's also been where they since the story has been circulating, they released a video of Micheal Brown taking cigarillos out of I guess a convenience store, a curb store, or gas station type situation, stealing them from the gas store. And it's actually been a question that, did Officer Wilson know about this? And the first thing that was said is that he didn't know about it. So that's what I'm going with, even though since it's been conflicting things saying that maybe he possibly could have, but I'm going with the first thing is that he didn't know, and they're trying to change the story now. But that had nothing to do with the altercation that happened on the street. Um, so let's see, it's been a lot of confusion in Ferguson and chaos. There's been people protesting the injustice. There's been people looting. There's been people burning down buildings, tearing up buildings, and things of that nature. Has actually been met with a militant-like police response, and they actually took the Ferguson local police off of it and put the state patrol on it. But now the National Guard is down there, and they're trying to put a lid on it per se. But my first thoughts is that I know that people are upset, and people are angry, and they want justice, because I, as a black woman, feel is that there is definitely an injustice, and it's definitely something wrong with what happened. But my question to the looters is that, why are you tearing up your own community? Why are you setting buildings on fire? Why are you stealing? Because at the end of the day, you're the one that has to go in that grocery store, or that hair store, or that Walmart, or that local business that you need this certain item from. You're the one that has to shop there. You have to use this thing. So why are you tearing up something that you have to use? But then on the flip side of it, it's kind of like when something happens, and we get mad, because we all get mad, and you just want to tear something up. As women, how our man do us wrong. We get mad with our man. We have an argument with our man. So, we just want to start breaking shit. We want to break up dishes. Rihanna's song, breaking dishes up and here, that. It's kind of the same feeling in a sense. I still don't agree with the looting part of it, that is right, but I do see where you could get so angry that it would make you want to just break something or do something of that nature. But I do still believe that the stealing aspect of it is wrong, because getting a new TV or getting free liquor or whatever items that the looters are getting doesn't have anything to do with the cause for Mike Brown and his family, because the family has stated that they don't want that. And there has been peaceful protesters that are being peaceful about their protesting in the ways of Martin Luther King, and fighting for the cause, because they want to be seen and heard. But behind those protesters are the people that are looting, and it kind of messes up the message that the protesters are trying to send, because we're all about justice here. We want justice. And and the only way to achieve justice is to be peaceful. Now, do I think that the police officers are taking things too far by dropping tear gas on people? Yes, I do. I think that is particularly the initial first military response. I think that was just very inhumane. Um, how can you just drop tear gas on people when they're doing nothing but just really wanting to be heard? They're sick and tired of being sick and tired per se. And this is something that has been going on for a while. And it seems to me that it took the death of Micheal Brown, which is sad to say that that had to happen to that young man, for this to begin to create a movement for change. It seems as if it is bigger than Micheal Brown. That's what I've been getting from it the past couple of days, is bigger than him and bigger than what happened to him. Um, this is something that has been on the bubble for years in Ferguson, St. Louis, Missouri area. And is tension when I look at TV and you see people, the police throwing bombs, and then you got over on the other side, you got people throwing bombs right back at the police. You got people breaking stuff, and you got people. It's just chaotic. You got people getting shot. You have people getting arrested. It's even to the point where the journalists are getting arrested. They don't even want the journalists to make a report on what's going on, because they don't want anybody to see what's actually happening. And when it goes to that level, that's when I'm saying that it's bigger than Micheal Brown. Not taken away from what happened to Micheal Brown, because what happened to Micheal Brown should not have happened. Just like with the guy that they just beat to death up in New York for selling loose cigarettes. And just like the George Zimmerman shooting Trayvon Martin, and Casey Anthony killing her baby girl, and these various other things that have happened that should not have happened. This Micheal Brown shooting goes down in that to me. And the part that makes that it should not have happened is when they say that Mike Brown put his hands up, like showing that he had no weapon, that he was finna comply, he was finna be compliant, and just throw in the towel. Okay, I'm not gonna run no more. But yet you still continue to fire upon him at least a few more times. And let's see, something else I want to talk about. I'm doing this kind of just by my head. I usually prepare things, but this I just want to just do it. The autopsy is there have been 3 autopsies. I think they just started the 3rd one, and of course the Ferguson medical examiner did one, and then the family also wanted one did, and the results came back that he was shot at least 6 times, including the fatal shot that he got shot up here at the top of his head. The thing that did not make any sense to me is when the medical examiner that performed the autopsy for the family made a notation that it could have appeared that when Micheal Brown was shot, that the only way he could have gotten shot in that spot up on his head is that he was charging at the officer. That sounds absurd to me, because this is just my logic. If I don't have a gun, there is a cop shooting. He's already shot me in my arm at least a time or two. And I don't have no weapon. He's got a gun. He's firing a gun. I'm not going to turn around and bum rush him. I'm just going to start charging at an officer with a gun that's shooting me. And I made this big grand effort to run and get away from said officer. That makes no sense. And I will continue to say that makes absolutely no sense. There's a story that I just heard today, probably about 15-20 minutes ago, that a friend of Officer Wilson's had come forth and said that he told her that Micheal Brown was trying to attack him, and that's why he felt like he had the right to, shoot Micheal Brown. But once again, you know how we black people are, or anybody in general that, with cops. We not trying to get too close to no police officer, let alone attack a police officer. We not finna dive in a car, in a police vehicle, at a police officer. We're not finna dive in the car to attack him when he has a gun and we don't. Secondly, like I said before, with the shooting him when he was running and the charging thing, like I just iterated, if he has a gun and I don't, I'm not going to run and then all of a sudden think I'm Superwoman and I'm invincible and I have at least a shot or two already in my arm, and I'm going to turn around and I'm finna charge at this officer because I think all of a sudden I can take him. No, that's not how that happened. Sorry. I'm getting ready to wrap this up, but the bottom line with the whole chaos, Micheal Brown saga is that we just want, and they just want peace, and they want justice. They want to see this officer pay for what he did. What they want to see is him being charged for murder. They're wondering why, at the very least, why hasn't he been locked up? Why haven't they made a arrest for murder for this officer? Why is he not even a suspect, a person of interest? That is where a lot of the anger is coming from. They just want to see change in an area that is majority minority, but yet is in under white power. They want to see a change with that. They want to see that, and that's the part of it that becomes bigger than Micheal Brown. They want to see change. So that's what I'm going to leave you guys with, is that in order for something to change, we have to take action in that change. We can't just sit up on our loins and think that change is not going to come, because it's not gonna come if we just sit up on our behinds. We have to get up and be proactive. We have to do something. We have to get involved. We have to show that we care, and stop being nonchalant, and stop thinking about turning up. And believe me, I love to turn up. I like to party, but it's bigger than that. Is we need to get involved with our government. We need to vote when we can. We need to, if there's something, a forum in the community, we need to go to it. We need to voice our opinions in a peaceful manner, not in a, not in a argumentative or a condescending way, but in a way that is respected, and we present ourselves well while we're doing this, so we can begin change, because that's what it is all about, change. This has been a Signature Style production. This is your girl Sexy Peaches signing off until next time. See you guys later. Be well, stay safe, stay fly, and be blessed. Deuces.